Coming up on Valley News Live at 6, the fate of Salama Pendleton is in the hands of a jury. The latest from the courtroom.
How the nursing shortage is affecting patients here in the Valley.
And help for a long hauler. How a vaccine rescued a woman suffering from COVID effects. Valley News Live at 6 starts right now.
This is Valley News Live at 6.
Good evening, everyone. They deliberated for 4 hours this afternoon, but a jury was unable to reach a verdict in the Grand Forks double murder trial of Salama Pendleton, the man accused of killing his mother and police officer Cody Holty in May 2020.
Now they'll be back in the morning to continue their discussions. Valley News Team's JC Dodd joins us live from the newsroom with what happened today in the courtroom. JC?
Mike, Stacy, manslaughter. That's what Pendleton's defense attorney is asking the jury to consider. In closing arguments, the defense admitted there is no doubt Pendleton killed his mother and Officer Holty. However, the defense says that wasn't his intentions, arguing Pendleton had a lot of stress over the threat of being evicted. In their rebuttal, the state's attorney stated there is only one thing left to prove. Pendleton had an extreme indifference for the value of life.
You would have to go back there and say, you know, I think pointing and aiming and firing a gun at another human being is not an extreme indifference to the value of human life.
Now, if the jury finds Pendleton guilty of the 9 charges against him, he could spend the rest of his life in prison. But if the jury sides with the defense's suggestion of manslaughter, Pendleton's prison sentence would be significantly lower. The jury is set to continue deliberation early Wednesday morning. Mike, Stacy.
All right, thanks, JC. Stick with us tomorrow as we continue to bring you the latest from that Grand Forks courtroom.
Now here's Hutch with a first look at the forecast. Hutch?
Thanks, Stacy. As we head into our evening hours, we continue to smell the smoke. Here is a zoomed in. This is north of Kenora here in southern Canada. You can actually see the points where the fire and smoke is emanating from. It's going to continue to degrade the air quality here in our area. You've seen the crawl, air quality advisories and alerts for most of our Minnesota counties. There's not going to be any picnic in North Dakota either, as smoke will be one of the main factors in our forecast. Tonight, temperatures cooling off after sunset. We'll have clouds building in, and we do have a chance, at least for some of us, to see some rain in the 24-hour forecast, but unfortunately not enough of us. We'll have details on the smoke forecast, where it will be worse, and we're also going to look ahead at our chance of thunderstorms tomorrow and some triple-digit heat making its way back into the valley. I'll have the latest on that as well here in a moment.
A lot going on. Thanks, Hutch.
New at 6 tonight, a nationwide nursing shortage is impacting hospitals here in the valley. But officials say it's nothing new, saying they've been dealing with staffing concerns for years, well before the COVID-19 pandemic.
Valley News Team's crime and safety reporter Bailey Hurley spoke to both Sanford and Essentia about where they're seeing the shortage most and how it's impacting patient care.
While Sanford Health says the staffing crisis started long before the pandemic, there's no denying COVID's impact. For one thing, many nurses have retired or left the field altogether.
Of course, losing that experience is tough because we need those experienced individuals to really help and train the new ones that are coming in.
But at the same time, Larson says the pandemic has also inspired many people to decide to pursue a career in healthcare. For Sanford, Larson says their most significant staffing impacts are seen in the emergency room, ambulance services, and inpatient care, adding they're also seeing a shortage of phlebotomists and respiratory therapists for the first time.
The demand and the volume that's coming in that is really significantly higher than we've seen in the past.
Larson says the shortage does impact the hospital's ER wait times, but says the time and day of the week also play a large role in how long a patient may have to wait.
I think one of the challenges is the volume is staying higher day by day, so then we do see some of the waits in the ER go up with that.
Meanwhile, across the street at Essentia Health, Nicole Christensen says it's not the ER where they're feeling the hurt. Rather, she says both operating room and critical care nurses are the most impacted.
I wouldn't say it's out of this world high, but it is at a concerning level that we are monitoring every single day.
Christensen says Essentia averages around 30 to 40 vacancies, which they try to combat with monetary incentives and specials to get others to pick up shifts, something Sanford Health says they do too. But as Larson points out, it's all a balancing act.
Because I think you can offer a lot of incentive to get people to work, but that doesn't mean that they're not tired, and we need to figure out a way to make sure that their well-being is at the top of the list.
Both say a large amount of international and traveling nurses play a vital role in helping keep the ship afloat. Both emphasizing while their hospitals are shorter on staff, patient care is and will always be the top priority. Bailey Hurley, Valley News Live.
In an effort to combat those shortages, Sanford is hosting a hiring fair next Tuesday, July 20th at the Delta Hotel. All are welcome.
As the drought persists, the U.S. Department of Agriculture has further loosened hurdles on crop insurance. To help farmers access needed funds, the USDA's Risk Management Agency will allow farmers to submit late claims in certain situations and reduce the paperwork. U.S. Senator John Hoeven says our producers are facing significant losses due to the widespread severe drought in our region, and they need timely insurance payments to help maintain their operations and cover their costs. This announcement follows a package of other emergency insurance reforms and lifting penalties on using prevent plant acres for grazing and haying. Producers should contact their crop insurance agent or visit RMA's Drought Damaged Crops webpage to learn more about today's announcement. A new policy change from the USDA will also helpfully provide more help for feed and hay for ranchers during the drought. Farmers nationwide are getting earlier access to cover crops for haying, grazing, or cutting normally. They use 65% to the prevented planting payment if they use their cover crops before November 1st.
Providing for livestock, providing feed, at the same time making sure that producers are made whole. This is a win-win situation, and we welcome it.
Producers should contact their crop insurance agent to learn more about today's announcement.
Fargo firefighters were called out to 24 South Terrace North in Fargo for a report of a structure fire. Neighbors saw flames coming from the detached 3-car garage late this afternoon. Crews knocked down the fire quickly. The cause is under investigation. Grand Forks police are investigating vandalism at Ben Franklin Elementary School. Police say sometime Saturday night, at least 6 windows were damaged. School officials say to gain access to the courtyard, the vandals would have had to get on the roof and scale piping on the side of the building. Rocks, a cinder block, and the poles used to hold up a volleyball net were used to damage those windows. Damage is estimated at $3,000 to $5,000. If you have any information, you're asked to call police and leave a tip.
Police in Bemidji need your help finding a missing teenager. Kaylee Holmes was last seen in the 2500 block of Minnesota Avenue last Monday around 4 in the afternoon. She has brown hair, brown eyes, and was last seen wearing black shorts and a tie-dyed shirt with white shoes. Now she has pierced ears and a nose piercing and a long scar on her left forearm and a tattoo on her middle finger. Anyone with information on her whereabouts should call Bemidji Police at 218-333-9111.
If your internet is down, you're not alone. Sparklight customers all across the country are reporting outages, including several in the Fargo-Moorhead area. This chart shows the number of outage reports on downdetector.com today. Sparklight posted on their Twitter account. Service to their call centers has now been restored, but due to high call volumes, there are long wait times. This afternoon, Sparklight said their technicians and engineers are still troubleshooting the problem. If you're experiencing an issue, let them know at support.sparklight.com.
The woman accused of stealing an elderly man's vehicle in South Fargo yesterday also threatened to kill a police officer on the scene. That according to the police report. The victim told authorities that he saw Jamie Singer laying on a boulevard. When he asked if she was okay, he says Singer ran to his vehicle, got into the driver's seat. The man says Singer then kicked him in the chest and drove off. After she crashed the car into a fence, police say she threatened one of them and spit at him.
Later on Valley News Live at 6, the unlikely source of help for a woman battling the long-term effects of COVID-19.
Smoke is one of our concerns as we head through the next couple of days, but it does look like some hot weather is heading our way. Your hour-by-hour forecast is next.